The first source that I chose to use was a blog written by Sally Hasler, who's an ambassador from Australia. And this blog is meant to be representative of a speech that she gave at a demonstration. Hasler details a range of problems within workplace inequalities for gender, so she doesn't just focus on one problem. The problems that she talks about are the pay gap, gender discrimination, gender biases, sexual harassment, and domestic obligations. In the blog, she also uses statistics to support these problems. For example, she says that women in the Australian workplace make 17% less than what men do, and 28% of women in the Australian workplace have experienced some sort of sexual harassment. So after she gives statistics for the problems, she goes into her solutions, which she gives multiple specific solutions, but they're all for big businesses. The whole blog emphasizes the need for big businesses to adopt these solutions in order for them to be successful. The first solution that she gives is to reform parental leave models. So she proposes that businesses make it easier for dads to leave the workplace to watch the kids, and making it easier for women to return after taking care of kids. The second solution that she gives is to make child care services more accessible to mothers. So, in other words, maybe making daycare centers more affordable, or even those businesses building daycare centers for their employees. A third solution that she proposes is for businesses to evaluate their own gender inequalities and monitor them with managers as time goes on. So overall, I found the blog to be pretty effective. One of the reasons for this that could be considered a strength was the organization of the blog. She started off by hitting her main point, which was that big businesses should be targeted for these solutions. So that kind of served as her thesis. So also considering the organization of the blog, I think she did a good job of transitioning the information. So she started with what I would consider a thesis and went into defining the extent of the problem with statistics and the multitude of them with the different problems. And by providing these before the actual solutions, it allows the reader to make more sense of them and apply them more effectively. Another strength of the blog is that it provides a video of the initial speech that the blog replicates. So if the reader wants to check that out, it's available for them to do so. A third strength that the blog has is credibility. It has credibility because the author gave statistics to support the problems, and this is important to show that the problems are real. A fourth strength of the blog would be the author's ability to include different ethnicities. For a little while, she was talking about how when she first became a speaker, she would go and visit countries where it was hard to feel relevant because she was speaking to women that weren't even able to vote or have basic human rights. A possible weakness for the blog might be a lack of information for how to implement the solutions. So she could have been more specific and provided more details, or maybe some statistics of successful similar implementations. The influence of the solutions is definitely from workplace inequalities for gender in Australia. This is probably because the author is an ambassador from Australia.